everyone. I choose Hunter's Wife as a reading section, and I think there has a lot of beautiful descriptions in these sections, and you will hear some beautiful sentence about the imagination and also identity. In a wind-polished band, they came upon a dead heron, frozen by its ankles into the ice. It has tried to itself out, hammering with its beak first at the ends, intubing its feet, and then at its own thin and scaly legs. When it finally died, it died upright, wings folded back, beak parted in some final desperate cry, legs rooted like twin reeds in the ice. She fell to her knees and knelt before the bird. Its eyes were frozen and clouded. It died, the hunter said gently. Come on, you are frozen too. No, she said. She slipped it off her mitten and closed the heron's beak in her fist. Almost immediately, her eyes rolled back in her head. Oh, wow, she moaned. I can feel her. She stayed like that for whole minutes, the hunter standing over her, feeling the cold come up his legs, afraid to touch her as she knelt before the bird. Her hand turned white and then blue in the wind. Finally, she stood. We have to bury it, she said. He chopped the bird out with his stake and buried it in a drift. That night, she lay stiff and wouldn't sleep. It was just a bird, he said, unsure of what was bothering her but bothered by it himself. We cannot do anything for a dead bird. It was good that we buried it, but tomorrow something will find it and dig it out. She turned to him. Her eyes was wide. He remembered how they had looked when she put her hands on the bear. When I touched her, she said, I saw where she went. What? I saw where she went when she died. She was on the shore of a lake with other herons, 100 others, all facing the same direction, and they were wading among stones. It was dull, and they watched the sun come up over the trees on the other side of the lake. I saw it as clearly as if I was there. He rolled onto his back and watched shadows shift across the ceiling. Winter is getting to you, he said. In the morning, he resolved to make sure she went out every day. It was something she'd long believed. Go out every day in the winter, or your man will sleep. Every winter, the paper was full of stories, but Richard Waves snowed in and creased with cabin fever, who had dispatched their husband with cleavers or awls. The next night, he drove her all the way north to the Sweetgrass on the Canadian border to see the North Lights. Great sheets of violet, amber, and pale green rose from the distances, shapes like the head of a falcon. A scarf and a wind rippled above the mountains. They sat in the truck cab, the heater blowing on their knees. Behind the aurora, the Milky Way burned. That one's a hawk, she exclaimed. Auroras, he explained. According because of the Earth's magnetic field, a wind blows all the way from the sun and gets past the Earth, moving charged particles around. That's why we see. The yellow-green stuff is oxygen, the red and purple at the bottom there is nitrogen. No, she said, shaking her head. The red one's a hawk. Seeing his beak, seeing his wings? That's all. We through the reading, and we can see some imagination about the auroras, which hunter's wife image, and but the hunter gave the aurora's identity is because the Earth's magnetic field. So through the reading, we can see a lot of identity and imaginations. That's all.